Okay, welcome viewers. I'm here with Sarah Quinney. She is the owner of Raw Food Mum, and she's also the creator of the 30 Days Green Smoothie Challenge. She's had her own journey in relation to finding her health and well-being, and she now eats almost 100% raw and vegan. She's also a beautiful ambassador for children eating a high percentage of nutritionally dense food in their diet every day. So welcome, Sarah. Thanks for your time today.
Pleasure, Kim. Thanks for having me.
So let's just get straight onto it. What's the hardest thing for you about being a working mum?
The hardest thing for me about being a working mum is finding the balance. Balance is my biggest thing.
Is there such a thing?
I don't know. It's the forever. We're forever searching for it, aren't we, as parents? So yeah. I think, definitely with my journey, I ran an online store, the raw food store, which I've recently just sold, because the balance was, it wasn't there. It was really tipped the wrong way for me with two little kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 13-month-old.
Yep.
So I think the nature of that business was that, I'd grown it to be quite a big online store, and we were getting up to, 120 orders a week. And I was doing a lot of it myself, that, the kids and my husband were suffering a little bit, in that, mum was pretty stressed out, serving everybody else's needs, and the family's needs weren't being met. So I think, it's the hardest thing really, isn't it? It's just listening to your heart and, realising that if it's not working for you, you need to let it go.
Yeah.
For the benefit of your own health and your family. So that was a decision that I had to make. Yeah. So I'm sort of finding that balance is creeping back into our lives again, which is really nice. So. And
you've only just sold it too, haven't you?
Yeah. So I sold it. I sold it nearly a month ago, about 5 weeks ago now, I think. But there was a handover, and it takes a fair while to unwind from having, a business running like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Every day. So the last 2 weeks have really been me time. I did notice that last week my brain has been feeling a bit. I got a massive headache after I sold it last week, which I don't normally ever get.
Yeah.
And I think it was the intensity of my brain working every day and it's shooting off blanks. I don't know. That's what I'm sort of saying. It's like I feel great today, and yesterday I feel normal again.
Right.
But I think just the calm down of of sort of releasing everything. And releasing all the stress that I've been holding on to in running the business and trying to keep the family going, and just that relief of going, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't have to worry about, packing 50 orders today, or I can just, get in the kitchen again with the kids and make them some food and things like that. So
how did you manage packing 50 orders a day with a baby and a toddler?
Well, with Isabel, just having one child was very different than having two. I've had staff work for me before, but I sort of ran the business when I was pregnant as well. We shut the store down when Grace was born until she was about 8 weeks old.
Yeah.
I don't think I did cope, Kim, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's been moments where there's been a lot of tears. People don't see that behind the scenes. And I've always said, though, my children come first over my children will always come first over an order that needs to be packed.
Yep.
So if Grace needed to be fed, she needed to be fed, but then what would happen is that I wouldn't have any me time at the end of the day. So I tried a few different models.
Yeah.
The one that worked for me was when the kids were asleep at night.
Yeah.
I just stay up and, pack things at night. Great, because it didn't impact on everybody else, but then it impacted on myself because I wasn't getting enough sleep. So, you'd stay up to 11 or 12 o'clock at night, breastfeeding overnight, and just wake up with matchsticks on your eyes. So, I think it's the type of business that, and my business had become so successful so quickly that I know I've got a marketing graphic design background, so I knew what I was getting myself into, but I just didn't know the full effect that it would have on a baby.
Yeah.
Who needs their mum, basically. So,
and there's only so many green smoothies you can have in one day, and then your energy is still depleted at the end.
Like just exhaust. Surprisingly, though, I actually wonder how I've coped sometimes.
Yeah.
I do put it down to my diet. Like, I actually do put it down to the fact that, you know, like, I don't have coffee, I don't have alcohol. So a lot of my stresses I have to release. I can't sort of numb, which I think sometimes maybe be a good thing if I did drink again. Not a Friday night, but I think that the food does help, though, with my energy levels completely. Yeah, I think it has helped to an extent of being able to cope with a lot of it. But then at the end of the day, you know, I did have to make that decision to sell the business because I wasn't coping really. So, and also having the raw food mum as well.
Yes.
Which is where it all started for me. I wanted to get back to with just me and my kids and what we do and sharing that with people. Whereas the store had become another entity really. It, you know, become a full-blown, you know, successful business. So, but I think the decision to sell it also wasn't a hard one. I sort of had a huge argument with Hamish, and I just went, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to argue with my husband over a business getting in the way of our life. It's not what I want in our lives. You know, we've done everything that resonated with us. You know, that we eat the way we do, we live the lifestyle the way we do. This is not resonating with me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm hitting a wall all the time.
Yeah.
So let's just, you know, go another way. Let's see what the other door presents, I suppose.
Beautiful. And that's also life, isn't it? Always, you know, shifting, tweaking, changing things when they're working and things when they're not. And I like what you said, you know, when you keep hitting that wall, something's got to give. Or something's got to transform or change somehow.
Yeah. So I think that's a really important, just listening. And we had this discussion beforehand, you know, from women that, I have 2 degrees. I've had a very successful, career prior to kids, and, you know, knowing that I have these skills to be able to make or grow businesses is very different than knowing you have children that need you as well.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, like I've been listening to my head, which is, you know, like fireworks in there sometimes with ideas and business ideas. And I really had to start listening to my heart again because my, you know, head was getting heavy. You know, it really was. So I think as a mum, for me, it was just really listening to that heart again and coming from a place of heart and love again than you know, having to keep up with the pack in this online business world that we have, and knowing, and as my husband said the other day, it'll all be there in 6 months. Just take 6 months off and it'll all be there in 6 months, and knowing that hey, it's okay, you know.
I think that is a tricky one for working women as well, that, you know, the environment when you're working is very head-based in general.
Yeah.
And children are not. They're definitely heart-based. And then switching between the mind and the heart, I think, does present a challenge, because even when we're cooking dinner and stirring, we'll still be thinking about A, B, C, what needs to be done. And with the kids around you, it can be difficult to drop into their land and be playful even.
Yeah. And I think, you know, and you just made me think of something, but, you know, literally switching is the hardest thing. It's a skill. Like, it's such a, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how the heart and head can work. I mean, I know they have to work together, but, you know, especially with little ones, like they don't understand that. They don't understand that mommy has to go and answer an email right now. You know, they don't get that concept. And I noticed actually Isabel saying, I have to go work, mummy. And I love it. I love that she's going to grow up and know what work is. I think it's really important for my children to understand. Yeah. You know, in the real world, some women don't have the choice of having to sell a business. Like, I thought very blessed that I had that choice, you know, that my husband can support us, you know, but we're not. He doesn't make a lot of money, but it's our lifestyle choices. But some women have to work.
Yes, yeah.
So they don't have the choice, you know, like my hats go off to them. Like, I feel like I was a bit, you know, not like, I mean, I worked bloody hard too the last couple of years. I worked very hard, but some women don't have that choice and they still have to raise their kids, and, you know, it's hard. It's bloody hard, you know. You have to be everything for everyone, and then our cups are so, you know, they're so not full, they're so little, you know, but I just think, I don't know, try and find that one thing that fills your cup up a day.
What is that for you?
Oh,
smoothies?
my little Bubba, she's just divine. Yeah. For me, and I beg my husband for another child, I love being pregnant. I love giving birth. I had such a beautiful birth with Grace, and I was 10 days overdue and induced with Izzy, but it was, I don't know, bringing a child into the world for me is the best. Like, it's up there with me. Like, anything in my life, it just, yeah, I don't know if it's like a drug or what, but.
Well, it's all those hormones, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's called happy hormones for a reason.
Yeah, I think Grace, when she looks at me, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to sell the store, because she needs a mama, you know, like.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have my raw food mum business, so I'm still, you know.
You're still in it?
Keeping myself, you know, I just don't have two businesses going now.
Yeah.
So I think it's still important for women to have something to keep themselves, you know, interested in what they're passionate about, and not let that all of themselves go just for your family. That's not what I'm sort of trying to say, but looking at Grace, and when she gives me cuddles, it's the best, honestly. She snuggles in now, and, you know, like, just watching them grow, like, she's starting to say it. She goes like, I, like little I, without the B, of course, but just watching their little development and that sort of stuff, that's what pulls you through, hey, you know, that love for children.
Yeah. And obviously being present to that as well in that moment.
Yeah. Well, babies are really interesting, because when kids get older, it's very easy to say, go and keep yourself entertained.
Yep.
But babies can't. You know, they cry. They need you, you know. Like, you can't just put a child down and go deal with it, because they have the concept of that. So, it's a very different. And I think when kids are in school and things like that, it's a very different situation, you know. Like, if my kids were in school, I probably would have still kept the store. But they're little, so... Yeah. Yep.
So tell us a little bit more about Raw Food Mum. Did you start that before the raw food store, or did it lead into it, or?
Yeah, so I started the Raw Food Mum when I had Isabel, basically, because I had been 100% raw vegan for 2 years prior to having her.
Yep.
And I started eating a little bit of cooked food when I was pregnant with Izzy, and then just after, I can't sort of stay 100% raw vegan when I'm pregnant. I go back to vegetarian, basically, and whole cooked food. And then I sort of resonated back to raw food again when Izzy was about 6 months. So I started sharing my journey with getting back into raw, and then what I started feeding Izzy. And so I published a book, and I have a graphic design background. So I started putting things together, a book of what we feed Izzy and what I knew. And that was raw food for kids. And so that sort of just took off. You know, that was just like a bestseller. And all the money from the sales, I just started investing back into a store. I thought, I'll stock the blenders and the dehydrators, because that's what we use. And then it just grew. And then I turned into a crazy lady. And then it got bigger and bigger. You know, like, it ended up being 1,000 product lines, which was crazy. But
wow.
So it's nice getting back to the Raw Food Mum, because that's where it all started. So, you know, and I do 30-day green smoothie challenges, which I'm just nearly at the end of one now. We've had 1,000 people signed up to the last challenge. And I find that the biggest thing with the Raw Food Mum is that I've always just shared what we do as a family. It's not, I don't really advocate you should be 100% raw vegan, because that doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm, you know, we're vegetarian, we don't eat meat. And I'm just not going to judge anyone for their choices. If that's what works for them, that's what they need.
Yeah.
For us, it's always been, well, what works for us? For me, you know, getting green smoothies into a kid. If you have children that don't like greens, green smoothies are a great way to get greens into your child's diet. You know, I've got heaps of photos of my kids. Like, Gracie has them now. She's had them since she was about 10 months old. She steals mine to mung them back. She just loves them.
Awesome.
And I just think to myself, you know, she's not going to, I mean, I think babies are a bit easier to put greens into meals than even, you know, 2-year-olds. They start looking at.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you get in early and give them the taste for those greens, they're more, well, I have found through my experience with Isabel especially, her taste, I mean, there's a few things she doesn't like. Tomatoes is one of them. That's Isabel. And she's sort of changed tastes a little bit, but she still loves her green smoothies. And she's a kid that's never sick Isabel, her immune system is just amazing.
Yep.
She's been at childcare and she literally has had one or two colds, I would say, since she was born. She is just, you know, such a strong, she has such a strong constitution. Yeah, my mum went to America a couple of weeks ago and came back with a cold.
Yep.
And I got it. I mean, I always fight a head cold very quickly, and I thought, oh, God, here we go. All winter when none of us are sick except, you know, we get back in summer and Mum brings this cold back from winter.
Yeah.
And I actually got it because I think I was a bit stressed out with the business and stuff. But
Yeah.
Izzy sort of started getting a snuffly nose and she had a bit of a fever and I thought, oh, here we go. She's going to get it. She literally had a fever that, like, wasn't even high. It was 39. Next day, woke up bright as a button. I was just like, it's amazing. Like, her system just does what it...
All over and done in 24 hours.
Yeah, like, just gets a bit of a temperature, kills the bugs off, and off she goes, you know, bright as a button. But I honestly believe it's down to the food that we feed her. She doesn't eat processed sugars. She, you know, she eats so much raw food and just and not even just raw whole foods. She just doesn't eat. She's never had a, you know, like when we go to parties and things like that, I take my own lolly bag and, you know, some mums, you know, might find that a bit extreme. It's just the way we roll. And, you know, Izzy's used to that. She doesn't, I just ask the other mums to put this one in the bag with them and she's fine, you know. That's her thing.
I think that is so great, you know, Sarah, because lolly bags are the bane of mother's existence, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, they are. And yet it's so socially, like, I've had people turn up to our party and we've given them just like a little gift instead.
Yeah, a lot of mums do that though, I know. Yeah.
And the kids say, "Where's the lolly bag?"
I know. Kids are so quick
conditioned.
To
have lolly bags.
Yeah. It's like if you go to Bunnings, you get a stamp. My daughter knows that she gets stamps when she goes to Bunnings, you know, like if she goes to Office Work, she gets a stamp. She can't have a stamp. Can't have a balloon. No, if they have it once, it's almost like they expect it. It's really, it's interesting.
Yeah. And so for you too, when you've been working, you know, days and nights, you would say for you as well, you obviously have smoothies every day, you eat raw vegan. Diet's been a really big part of you staying healthy and being able to manage your stress levels.
Yeah, I'm back to, I'm not vegan at the moment. I'm eating a few eggs again. I just find occasionally I'll have some eggs. And the kids have never been vegan, they're vegetarian. I say vegan except they eat eggs. That's the only thing they have as an animal. And we get, my sister-in-law has chickens. They're very well-loved chickens. And we get those eggs. So
yummy eggs.
That's a balance. So that's just, just so we're not saying what I am and I'm not. Yeah, but I definitely think my energy levels are high and I've been able to cope with what I have sort of, you know, long nights and things like that because of the food that I do eat, definitely. Yeah.
So what, if I can ask, what does the day in Sarah's, you know, intake look like?
Yeah, so...
like what sort of things could I change right now for more energy and vitality, essentially?
The biggest thing I find, well, we don't have dairy, so the things I find is just switching conventional things over to plant-based sources. So, for example, milk, swap for nut-based milks, almond milk, make your own. The biggest thing I find with almond milk, just little tips here, is read the ingredients at the supermarket. If you're buying packaged, they are full of stuff. They are so full of preservatives. Not funny. There's one brand you can get at Woolworths, Australian Organic, and that's probably the best one I found. There's ones in health food stores that are much better, but you know, most parents, you know, I know the Australian Organic is the best almond milk you can buy. It doesn't have all the caking agents and things like that in it. Cheeses, so we don't have cheese. We swap over to a raw cheese, so cashew-based cheese. And nut-based.
I love cheese.
I know. And, you know, for me, cheese was the hardest thing to give up.
Was it?
Yeah, it's the biggest thing for me to give up. And I hemp seeds are another great one. And I think it's the fatty, it's the fat component that your body actually needs that people find the hardest thing to give up. You know, cheese is high fat item, and it's what your body needs fat.
Yes.
So I think it's really important when you give up those sort of fats and you swap over to something else. Nuts are a really good source, and oils. Like, it's really important to have those oils and that DHA in a kid's diet for their brain function. And what else? So breakfast cereals, we make a raw one. We make a big batch of buckwheat muesli up, and we put things like pepitas, goji berries, like all of the, organic coconut flakes and sultan, like dried fruit and things like that. So we have a big raw cereal with the nut milk in the morning.
Yeah.
And I love my big green smoothies. I try and have my green smoothies at lunchtime. That's like my meal.
Yep.
So I pump my greens. Like, I have a green, but I have like a massive green smoothie, almost like a litre of green smoothie when I have mine.
Yep.
I have, I sort of tend to stick with fruits as well for mine. But I have bananas, chia seeds, linseeds in them. I get a raw protein powder and I'll pop that in it for a bit.
Yep.
I'll put one of the cacao one. I like a bit of a kick with that. But that's sort of my lunch meal, is mostly a smoothie, or we have raw bread and we'll have a salad sandwich like that. So dinner, we always have a massive salad. So my tips for that is make a massive salad up and have it in the fridge, and it'll keep for 3 days if you've got a good enough container. Don't put the dressings on it. Don't put avocado in it, and don't put tomato or any sort of water-based vegetable in there with it, because it just makes the lettuce leaves soggy. But we make a massive, like, huge salad in a big salad spinner, and we live on that for like 2 days, and we sort of make one up. So we're not constantly making things. Right,
that's a good tip.
Yeah, and then, for lunch, if you just have a bit of salad, fermenting food. So we'll have a salad, sauerkraut at dinner, and then quite often we'll have this dinner's where I tend to have a little bit of cooked food. So we have a little bit of steamed veggies with dinner and things like that, or I'll make up some veggie burgers if they're raw or cooked, whatever. We have that little bit of cooked food at night with food, just to sort of, I just find that with me personally breastfeeding, I just crave it at the moment. So
for sure.
Yeah, but I was 100% raw vegan for 2.5 years, so I didn't let any little thing cook past my lips. But now, again, it's about balance. If we're out, I'll have a vegetarian meal if there's no vegan, or I'll have a cooked meal if we're out. But the good thing about it these days is you can go out and get so many raw options, whereas, 8 years ago when I was 100% raw vegan.
The world has changed in a good way for eating out. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I even went to a raw vegan high tea last year.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, really awesome.
Yeah, that would have been lovely.
It was. My only complaint was, and gosh, if this could be a complaint, there were so many desserts and not enough savoury things.
Oh, no.
It was like dessert after dessert. Yeah. It's very rich, like that chocolate avocado stuff.
Yeah.
Really rich.
The nuts can be quite rich too. And that's the other thing too with treats for, like, mums that like a little bit of chocolate and things. Make it a raw treat. I have a raw cheesecake recipe on my website. I've got quite a few different versions, but I actually make them into tiny mini cupcakes. So I'm not having a whole slice of raw cheesecake. I'm having little, that you get the cupcake trays, the really tiny ones.
Yep.
And I make them, so it's just a little serving and it's a little treat if I want one. And it makes, like, a massive cheesecake recipe will make so many of those.
And so can you freeze that?
Yeah, you just freeze them.
Okay.
I keep them in the freezer, so you just leave it out it only takes like a minute just to defrost a little bit.
Yep.
And and then you've got your little treat. So.
And that'd be a way better treat than a chocolate in the afternoon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, something that feeds you.
And the other thing that I do with the kids is so for me, it's all about just swapping conventional things over to raw, or I just find one thing that I can swap over.
Yep.
Or that's what I try and communicate. So, like ice creams, I make the kids ice creams, and I find using an almond milk or a nut milk makes them creamy. So they're not icy pole sort of like, they're more ice cream like.
Yeah.
I put probiotics in the kids' ice creams. So things like that are great to get sort of, good things into kids' diets. Kefir, water kefir is another one that we use with the kids and make the fizzy water for them.
I don't even know what kefir is.
So water kefir, it's like a grain bacteria, if you like, for gut health, and you ferment it in water, and then you drain. Once you fermented the water grains with the water, you put it into another container, drain the grains off, and then put fruits in it, and it becomes fruit water. But the fermentation process actually makes the water fizzy.
Ah,
so it's like a soft drink. It's got all these millions and millions of, good bacteria in there for kids' guts and things like that.
I'll have to look at it.
So just things like that. What else?
So if I was to not get too overwhelmed with going raw, or what would you suggest what would you suggest I start with, perhaps?
Get a green smoothie in your diet a day.
Green smoothie a day?
Yeah, it's so simple. Kids love it. Change it from that afternoon smoothie with the ice cream and the milk that I probably grew up on having as after school sort of treat.
Yep.
A plant-based one.
Yep.
Yep. Just have banana, almond milk, or banana water, a little bit of spinach. Start with a small amount of green and slowly build up.
Yes.
So, kids don't freak out about it.
Yep.
Get the kids making it with you, so they're involved in the process. They get to choose what they want. Green smoothie is just so easy. It's just, it's just such an easy thing to do. And I guarantee you the kids will start saying, can I have a green smoothie, Mum? Because I see it on my challenges. I see so many mums. And I've seen through that. I've had the raw food mum now for like 4 or 5 years. No, 4 years, sorry. And I've seen it so many times when mums have said, my kids won't have a green smoothie. I said, well, will you please try? Like, give it a go. Challenge mums to try and do it. And blow me down, and the kids love it and they want more. I'm
going to start tonight.
Yeah, you should pop over. I've got a Raw Food Mum group page, and we're still on the challenge, but and look on the Raw Food Mum side if we're ever having another challenge, and join in. It's lots of fun. Everyone posts their green smoothie recipe a day, and we keep each other accountable, and we encourage each other. Yeah, and lots of parents post their pictures of their kids having them. It's just a really nice supportive environment. And the one thing I notice, and I've noticed with my challenges too, is that you lose a little bit of weight around the hips, which is
always a good
nice.
Thing. Not an issue, but always a good thing.
It's not my goal of the challenge.
That's right.
But skin clears is the biggest thing I've noticed people say. Their skin clears up. They have more energy. They don't, especially mums in the afternoon, they have that little bit more energy for the craziness of the getting, the dinner ready time. That 4 to 5 is just so exhausting when you get and you're like, I actually feel like I've got a little bit of energy through that, and it's a real good pick-me-up. So
I tell you, that's what I need, because honestly, by 3 o'clock, I feel like I need to go and have a lie down, and that's when the second shift starts.
Yep, big time.
Getting the kids up from school, getting them home, getting into their vibe while still finishing up work.
Yep.
And I just want to lie down.
Yep. So start having that, like get a smoothie or a juice into you about 3 o'clock, and it gives that body a little bit of extra chlorophyll, oxygen in the cells, and you can, keep going. I noticed a huge difference. My skin, even with this challenge, my skin has cleared up so much. I feel vibrant again when I look in the mirror.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. It just feels nice to feel that way about yourself, isn't it? Doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, rather than walking past the mirror and seeing someone tired and worn out, a bit of vibrancy, I think, is what we all need.
You start feeling good about yourself as a mum, and that's filling your cup up again as a mum, isn't it?
That's right. So we're going to have, on this page, we're going to have links to your site so that all of our viewers can also get in touch with you at the Raw Food Mum and start the challenge when you're doing your next challenge.
Yeah.
So we'll have all those opt-ins at the bottom of this page, guys.
Great. Hope to see you all there.
Yes. Well, you'll definitely see me. And as I say, I'm going to start my smoothies again today.
Yeah. Give it a go. Cool.
So thanks, Sarah. Thank you so much for your time today. And we look forward to, seeing more at Raw Food Mum and all living healthy, vibrant lives.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
See you.
Bye.